So you guys just got to look into the daily, or no, probably more like weekly struggles of how much work it is for us to pack up these suitcases. As you might have seen in the other video, we can't wait to get back in December to drop some of this stuff off, so our load's going to be a little bit easier to move from place to place. But on the bright side, now we are on our way to the ferry because we're heading to Montevideo, Uruguay. So we'll see you guys at the port. Alright guys, so we are now on the ferry heading over to Montevideo, but just want to give you a few different ways on how you can get to Montevideo. There's of course flying from Buenos Aires. That's going to be the most expensive, so we decided to take the ferry, and there's a few different ferries. We took the ferry from Buenos Aires, and it cuts through like a very thin part of the, I don't know, river, ocean, wherever it is, right in between there, that it goes to Colonia del Sacramento, and that's still a couple hours away from the city of Montevideo. We actually just found out a couple days ago. I didn't realize I booked that. I just booked the cheapest ferry ride, and it makes sense because it's about half the distance and half the amount of time. So this ferry was about $100 for the 2 tickets, so $50 per person, and we booked it quite a few weeks in advance. It seems like the prices were still about the same when we checked them the other day. But yeah, there is another ferry you can pay a little bit more to go to Colonia del Sacramento, and then it connects you over to Montevideo. For us, once we get there, we're gonna hop on a bus, and it's like a 2.5 hour bus that'll get us all the way over to Montevideo. Not sure what the price is yet. We're gonna get tickets when we get there.
So once we got to the ferry terminal, we checked in, or we got in line to check in, which kind of took a while. We got there about an hour and a half before the ferry was supposed to take off. Ended up being a little bit delayed, or a lot of it delayed. I'll get to that. So we got there about an hour and a half. There was a decent line, probably waited in line for about 20-30 minutes, and then we gave them our passports. They checked our bags. It's kind of like an airport almost. And then we went up to, there's a upstairs level where we went to customs. So we went through leaving Argentina, and then they also have Uruguay customs there. So it's like we went from Argentina customs to Uruguay customs and did both of those processes pretty quick and easy. They have a little security you go through before that as well, not quite as intense as an airport. And then after that, you go to the terminal where the boarding gates are, and it was a little bit confusing. There's not really signage telling you which ferry is going from which gate, so we just kind of went where most people were, and we asked the guy at the candy stand, and he said that he told us which gate it was, so we just kind of went with it, but that it was delayed. And it ended up being delayed by about an hour and a half. So not really sure what happened. It is kind of part of the Argentinian way of life that things are a little more slow paced, and so maybe, you know, it's just not as much urgency when things are delayed. Who knows? We don't really know the reason, but we are on the ferry now. It is huge. It's 2 levels. It's also, you can drive cars on it, we saw, and it's almost got like an atrium foyer where you have tables, chairs, and a little cafe where you can get food, drinks, coffee. They even have a duty-free shop on here. So it's really cool. It's really nice, comfortable, and now we are ready to get to Uruguay.
So in about an hour, we'll check back in with you guys once we make it. Not sure which bus we're going to take, because I didn't mention this before, but the bus we were going to hop on was, I think, at 1:50 p.m. and since we left an hour and however long late, the bus has probably already left now, so maybe we'll be hanging out in Colonia for a little bit, but we'll see.
bus tickets, and here we are.
It's about 2.5 to 3 hours depending on the traffic. So hopefully it's closer to 2.5 because we told our Airbnb originally that we were going to be arriving much earlier when I thought that our ferry was taking us all the way to Montevideo. But now that we had a few more transportation needs, we're going to get there closer to 7 p.m. tonight. 2 bus tickets from Colonia over to Montevideo was about $22 US with a current exchange rate, which comes out to about $11 per person. And already we can see that Uruguay's currency is a bit stronger than Argentina's. We got some snacks at the bus station, and we had 2 waters, a beer, and like a granola and nuts mix, and it was about like $13 or $14. So it was actually much more expensive than Argentina. So we'll see you guys once we get there, and then we'll let you know what the total cost of transportation was from Buenos Aires all the way to our Airbnb in Montevideo. And we made it after 3 hours and 7 minutes, so a little bit longer than expected. I think there was a few more stops than we were thinking, but the last leg of the trip will be an Uber to the Airbnb. So guys, as I'm editing this video, I just found that unfortunately I had the mic off when I was recording the last part of this video. But to tell you guys, it was about $67 per person. It was about $67 total for the ferry from Buenos Aires to Colonia del Sacramento, and then the bus from Colonia del Sacramento to the Montevideo bus station, and then an Uber from the bus station to our Airbnb. So pretty cheap overall, especially because when we were looking, the flight prices were around $150 just to fly, plus the cost to get to and from the airports on both ends. So definitely a much better deal. So guys, thanks so much for watching. Hopefully this helps you in some way. It's a little bit different than some of our other vlogs, but we're like, you know, the ferry process can be confusing sometimes for people, and it's kind of good to know, like, how does it look? How does it operate? What are the costs, you know, when comparing that to the flight prices? So we hope this helps you guys with your trip to Montevideo, or vice versa from Montevideo back to Buenos Aires. And so guys, thanks so much for watching. We'll have a lot more videos like this coming out for the next at least year as we travel around the world. So hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of those. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and we'll see you in the next video.